You are listening to the SuccessibleSHE Podcast, Episode 19, How to Keep Your Sanity When It Feels Like Your Life's Been Upended and Turned Over To, with my guest, Texas super lawyer, writer, and author, Melanie Bragg, the head of Bragg Law PC. Hello, Successible Ones. Dorothy Kuhn here, and welcome back to another episode of the SuccessibleSHE Podcast, the success podcast for women on your way to transforming yourself, your business, your work, your situation, your life from stewing, shouting, shrinking, or shunning into success that shows up as respect, appreciation, money, and time in your life, so that you can enjoy the future you want with the confidence, respect, and fun that is your birthright in quite nearly every moment, even the tough ones. With me today is my friend and sister in so many ways, Melanie Bragg, a Texas super lawyer and author of 3 books. She is the owner of Bragg Law PC in Houston, a general civil practice with an emphasis on probate, small business, and mediation. She's the immediate past chair of the American Bar Association Solo, Small Firm, and General Practice Division, and was elected to the ABA House of Delegates. And if that's not enough, she also serves on the Board of Trustees of the Texas Bar Foundation and is the author of 3 books, who also writes 2 columns for her general practice colleagues, Defining Moments, Insights into the Lawyer's Soul, and Mindfulness 101. Her novel, Crosstown Park, is an Alex Stockton legal thriller. She's a frequent speaker on mindfulness, marketing, and women's issues. Welcome, Melanie.
Hello, Dorothy. How are you doing? I'm just so excited to be here today.
It is great to have you here. I can't wait for people to get to know just a little bit more about you and what helps you keep your sanity these days.
Well, if you ask some of my personal friends, they may not say I'm too sane, but you just have to kind of pivot in and out of sanity every day, I think.
I get that so much. Well, you have got, that's true, because things can really shock us and put us into a place where we're operating from fear and not operating from love and the things that really open up possibility. And I think you've got a formula for that. What?
Yeah. Well, January I was able to go to Pasadena, California for the Tournament of the Roses. It was a wonderful vacation, a wonderful time. I was around a lot of people in California. Come back in January and, we're all busy. We all have our plans. And all of a sudden this global pandemic hits, this coronavirus, this COVID-19 has really taken us all for surprise. Nobody, I don't care who you are, I don't care where you are in life, low, high, big, small, healthy, not healthy. It's really caused us, it's a big overlay of stress. So anybody who I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I've just been peachy keen all day long every day. I'm a human being just like everybody else. And in the beginning, it was kind of raining on my parade. Can you feel me on that? It was not exactly what I wanted to be going through. And so I found myself either beating myself up about why didn't I do this, or I should have done that, or I was saying, what's going to happen in the future? What's going to happen in my law firm? Am I going to lose my staff? Am I going to get more clients? Am I going to be able to, what about my trips? What about my plans? What about my niece's wedding? All of these things, we all have been through this. But basically, I was always either in the past or I was in the future. So very quickly, that first couple of weeks when I found myself experiencing that anxiety, I just stopped myself and I began to say, now I'm here in my beautiful office. Now I'm here in my beautiful home. Anytime you find yourself pulling over, it's kind of like driving on a 3-lane highway and your car is pulling over to the left. That's the past. Your car is pulling over to the right, the future. You want to just stay in your lane of now. Now I'm healthy. Now I'm doing well. and when you pull yourself into the now, it instantly feels better because it's now is a fun place.
Yes.
All of these things that we're worried about haven't happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a huge time. I teach and speak on this all the time, but I mean, having to practice it myself is very important. So I did come up with my little now formula.
Mm-hmm. To stay in the now. And that how do you nurture that yourself, your soul,
Well,
your
basically,
mind? How do you get it to calm down when that monkey mind is going, I'm scared?
Right. Well, so the now formula is composed of NOW. So it's a 3-part formula. The N is nurture yourself and others. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So by nurturing yourself and others, all of those things we do to beat ourselves up all the time about whatever it is, letting that go. Getting upset with other people. I mean, I know we've all found if we're one of those ones that thinks this is a big deal, the people who don't wear their mask might upset us. Or if we're one of those people that think, hey, what's the big deal? The people who are running around with their mask might upset you. Just whatever it is, I just made a commitment to myself. I'm not going to be mad at anybody. And if somebody does something that I don't really like, I'm going to show them an extraordinary amount of favor. I'm going to show them grace right now, because I know that everyone is experiencing this in a very different way. Yes. So by releasing them and myself, I'm able to nurture myself more, and that's helping me with the stress. So that's the end part.
Mm-hmm. That is so important. And I remember doing this with the first time I ever did this, I was in my early 30s. And I was like most people that I was hanging around at work and my family. It's hot here in Texas. We complain about it in the summer. It's cold here in the winter. We complain about that. And I just decided that I was torturing myself and making myself unhappy over something that I have absolutely no control over.
Yeah.
And just like the other people in the world
I know.
you just described. Do we have control over those other people?
No, this happened to all of us. It happened to everybody. And we just need to show extraordinary compassion and empathy to ourselves and others. So it's time to take that bubble bath that you have been putting off. And this is a perfect time to start your mindfulness practice if you haven't done it. Now, honestly, the first couple of weeks when I was trying to, to meditate, I didn't want to meditate. I mean, so sometimes but it's okay to not feel like meditating, you still just get up to bat, and you don't always hit a home run, but you still keep. Now things have smoothed out, so my meditation practice is back, and it's just, everything's fine. But the second part of the formula is the O, own it. That's where we decide what you just said. That was a perfect lead into that, Dorothy, about the control, because by owning it, we're not saying we're happy about it. We're not saying that everything's wonderful about it, but we're saying we're not attached to any outcomes. We're letting go. It is as it is. We have to just, I'll tell you where I really realized the owning it part was really important. I called a friend of mine from Canada. His name's Larry. I said, hey, Larry, how are you doing this past 2 weeks? This is like mid-March. How are you doing about this coronavirus? He says, well, he said, I've really been facing up to the fact the last couple of weeks that I am old.
Oh.
He said, I really am, because he said, I'm one of those ones that I need to not run around as much. I mean, he said, but I just had to accept the fact that I am now. So whatever it is, whether you're just getting out of college and you're not going to be able to walk in a ceremony, or whether you're a senior and you're not going to have the same prom that you thought you were going to have, we just have to own it and sort of detach from it. It's not that we don't have the emotions about it, but once we own it, then we can move forward into the W of the formula, which is win. How do we win?
Yes.
Okay.
And that is a great question to have.
Yeah. So how do we win here? All right. Because the thing is everything has changed, and human beings don't really adapt to change that well, that fast. Even people like me who love change, sometimes I don't always love it.
I get that.
Yeah, I've been a lawyer for 37 years. I mean, we used to do things a lot differently. And so as we move forward, it's kind of like, think about in the days when people used to ride horses and the car was invented.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you going to do? Say, I want to still keep riding my horse, you know? Or when the refrigerator was invented, I want to cool my food with an ice block? No, things have changed and we're in for some big, big changes.
Yes.
But by nurturing ourselves and others, by owning it, then we can put ourselves in a position to not be wasting all this time worrying about the past and the future, not being attached to things we don't need to be attached to. And we can realize, wait a second, all of these changes, you know, I love these Zooms. I feel so close to you. And our audience here who's listening to this, I hope that you feel close to me when I'm telling you these things from my heart. I'm not trying to say that it's been easy for me. I mean, it has not been easy in so many ways. I mean, because I'm the age I am, I'm like, whoa, you know, when I was in my stage, you know, am I too old to do all these changes? Where the young ones are like, gosh, I was just fixing to get started and now all this. So we're going to make it through this. We're going to make it through together. And with all these new, there's just so many opportunities for growth and adaptability and cutting edge. But we just have to be sharp and we have to be healthy. We have to get a good night's sleep. We have to nurture ourselves, all those basic things. In a way, we've all had so much more time to really, I mean, I've talked to so many of my friends who say, you know, do I really need all of that stuff? You know, a lot of times we're running around compulsively buying more and more and more. Maybe this is an opportunity for us to consider, what do we really need? What really feeds us? Right. What is important to us? So that's how we can pivot into our future and really win during this time that seems so serious.
And winning really is about being satisfied with where you are and having a vision of the future that is really juicy to you, well, without stumbling into other people's stuff. Like, you know, I mean, to pick you up on your mention about buying a bunch of stuff, you know, watching commercials, you know, that's a multi-billion-dollar industry, advertising, and they are really good at getting you to buy things that you could live the whole
notice
lifetime.
In fact they pivoted. I mean, did you notice how long it took to get those new commercials up? We got to be agile like that. And you know, it's really, with lawyers, we've been doing a lot of Zoom meetings and stuff, and there's a lot of lawyers who are really resisting technology. You can't resist anything right now.
That's right. And speaking of lawyers and technology and Zoom, which is what we're on now, is you know, I'm in the place of writing a codicil to my will, and that is really important because, you know, with these days, with so many, we've had 500,000 Americans who were extra die in the past month or two. Wow. And if you're not prepared for that kind of stuff, it's now that is something worth spending some time on, because going through probate, which is what happens to all your stuff and your property and your house, if you don't have a will, that's a bit of a pain in the tuchus, isn't it?
Well, it's not a pain for the person who dies, but you know, it's a pain. Yeah, it's a pain for the people that are left. And I'm really highly suggesting to everyone to talk to their parents and even be willing to pay for their parents to prepare things so that they don't get left with the mess. I've got a sweet little client that I've been representing for the last 10 years. She's in her 80s right now, and she came on my spirit this morning, and I called her up. She is not doing her will, and I've probated her husband's estate, and I'm trying to get her to finish that. She's got a lot of irons in the fire, right? And I called her this morning, and I said, Maggie, we got to get your will done. She's like, I've got to finish. I was like, no, you have to get this done. And I finally just told her, I said, listen, I'm not saying that I'm going to live longer than you, because you never know when our ticket's going to be pulled. But I don't want to have to deal with the mess that there would be, that I know there would be, because we haven't finished your husband's estate yet, if you died without a will right now.
Right.
And so we need to get this done. And I just told her, I'm going to do it for you. I pretty much grab everybody, all my clients, no matter what they come in. And sometimes I've even, made them do it. I'll get it all ready and have them fill in the blanks. And they know they're not getting out of my office without it. Because it's so, when you have a
it
will,
saves so much. People
Yes,
don't realize how much
no.
they fight.
And even one little account that has $5,000 in it, you aren't going to be able to get that money out without it. And it's a super big hassle. And then titles to property, that is the biggest place I see this. So that's a whole nother subject. But I'm just saying, if you want to be creative and if you want to be fulfilling, you just basically the where you pulling yourself out into the now. When you find, our minds, you just got to train your mind. It's like a little 2-year-old child that's going to constantly be going. Just pull yourself into the now. What a beautiful day. Smell, I've been having to clean my house right now. And so I'm folding my clothes and I'm like lovingly, just really get into more of a mindful way and enjoy the little things.
Yes.
It just really, it pulls your energy into a new space and gives you more time and more productivity to really plan the future. Because there's a lot of changes. We're not anywhere close to being through this. We've got a couple of more years of until we get a vaccine. That's just all there is to it.
Yeah. It's going to take a while probably to get a vaccine. We'd all love to have one like yesterday, but it takes a while to go through that testing and get something that's really safe and effective.
Yes, of course. But I stand by ready, willing, and able to help anybody that needs my help. So.
Well, and isn't it great that you can help anybody in the whole state of Texas too?
I know. It's
right.
Beautiful. Yeah, with this Zoom, and Governor Abbott has done an order that allows us to electronically notarize all the probate documents now. The law will probably, I'm sure there's a new bill coming up in legislature that actually change it. I mean, some of these temporary changes that we're going through right now are going to be changed in the future. So, and business is shifting and people are learning things. Last night we had the funnest little, a good friend of mine from Georgia. He turned 79 and his children, this big group of us, were kind of like in a little fraternity. There's a couple of hundred of us. We all got on this Zoom and we sang happy birthday. People from all over the world were there to have a virtual birthday party with him.
Yeah.
We used to not, all of us couldn't do that. So we never celebrated his birthday before. So there, in a way, that's even cooler than having a big birthday party at home that 20 people can attend. If you can have all of your friends.
Yeah.
So,
jump on and sing you happy birthday.
Yeah. It was, but he's sequestered at home in his vacation home with just him and his wife. He couldn't have a party, but guess what? Everybody showed up.
Yeah. So, and you can always toast from anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
That is so good. That is so good. So how are you liking these changes now that you've used your now formula to go from that, because I remember like a month or 6 weeks ago, we were talking on the phone and you were like,
I've had my moments. I mean, I really have, but that doesn't serve me. When you realize that is not a productive use of my time.
And that's why you got your formula, because it works. I know. So how are you liking the experiences, the changes that has really happened since you practiced that you're nurturing, you're owning, and have clearly moved into winning?
I love it. I mean, I've been, it's just, I'm just feeling so blessed. Having that practice of gratitude, having an exercise routine, having a meditation routine, and also just sticking with a routine. Having a routine is important. I decided I don't want to walk around with my hair in a ponytail and gym clothes. I mean, I'm going to suit up and dress up. I'm going to act as if, even if I'm coming to the office by myself, and I usually have like 1 to 3 of these Zoom things every day now. So yeah, but at first I wasn't, but now we do. And I've also been using this opportunity to there's a lot of free seminars. There's a lot of free things going on. So I'm scheduling a lot of those so that I can listen to others and learn. So as much as I'm teaching, I'm learning, because when you're a teacher, you love to learn. And it's just it's a symbiotic exchange of energy.
Oh, it is. It's kind of two sides of the coin of having a really full life.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, indeed. So once our listeners have gotten their mindfulness practice in and their exercise practice in, and they've calmed down enough, because the stressed mind cannot see possibility. So calming down with that mindfulness practice of living in the now is really gives people the opportunity to identify their pivot. So when they found their pivot, what tips do you have so that they can stay on track?
Well, basically staying on track is you've just got to pull yourself back into the now every time you veer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like it's a moment to moment, second to second thing. And one thing, having a really good breathing exercise when you find yourself going off.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us have a lack of confidence too. I mean, trust me, that's part of the human experience. People looking at me may think, oh, she's so confident. No, I'm not any more confident than anybody else. You just have to, sometimes you have to fake it till you make it, okay? And no matter what. But as you get into it and you forget, you can almost forget all your worries by being in the moment. When you're in the moment, you forget all the things that you worry about. So, and fake it till you make it, be confident. And then just also, if you do get into a self-pity place, because it's fun, every now and then it's fun to have a good cry, have a good cry. I mean, I can cry at a commercial. A commercial can hit me, sometimes when I see the first responders,
Mm-hmm.
my heart goes out,
Oh, same here. I have cried more in the past month than I have cried all the previous year.
Yeah,
other people's heroic activities and crushing situations that are first responders in the hospitals and all
just think of all the people that have it worse, as bad as it may be for us in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Think about all the other people who may have it worse. And the mental health, the thing for lawyers, I mean, I always say that lawyers are the conduit to justice. In other words, the way you get to justice and access to justice is through
Mm-hmm.
us.
Mm-hmm.
And so the stronger and healthier the conduit is. So when you begin to think of yourself as a conduit to whatever business you're in, whatever thing, you want to be as strong as you can be
Mm-hmm.
for the ones that you serve.
Oh,
and then also just have that coming from a place of service. Who can I serve today? Just little things. I sent my cousin some little CBD bath balls, I mean, part of me could say, well, how can you do that right now? Things aren't so great for yourself. But the more you do for others, the little things you might do, like giving an extra tip. Maybe you would give a $3 tip and you go ahead and add a $10 tip in.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you don't have the money. I mean, really, when you're generous, when you're more than generous, when you don't even have the ability to be generous, that's when you get blessed on the other side. I really believe the law of the universe works that way. So it's not always a tit for tat. It's not always the little acts of kindness that you can do when nobody's looking. The little blessings, that builds you up too. It doesn't deplete you at all. It builds you up, and it also makes you feel stronger. And the stronger you feel, the more able you'll be to complete your task of the day. But get up, do a meditation. Do not even get out of bed till you meditate.
Mm-hmm.
And do a little exercise, whether it's 50 push-ups or 10 jumping jacks. Just start out with something small. You don't have to have a fancy gym. I'm lucky because I do have a nice gym that's taken me several years, and boy, every day I'm so grateful that I have that. What I'm loving right now is all.
And it's at home, your gym, right?
I know. But what I love is how everybody is getting their garages clean, they're cleaning stuff out. This is a real regenerative energy.
Yes.
There's a lot of regeneration going on. And people are realizing they're having time to really talk to their children. They're having time to really cook meals. I don't even want to eat out. I mean, no offense to restaurants or anything, but I mean, I'm just loving being at home and enjoying and valuing my precious life.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And life is precious, and when we make wise decisions and do those really great practices, we can share life longer and longer for ourselves and the people in our community and the people we love.
I know, and I'm telling you, wear that mask. I mean, I don't care what,
I don't go outside without it. In fact, speaking of love, I'm a new grandmother, and tomorrow is my grandson's 1 month birthday, and I got to see him for the first time today. In the car.
They were so radiant.
Yes, and totally. I'm so thrilled. It is so much better to see him in person. And was it like, did I get to touch him? No. My son and my daughter-in-law and the baby were in the car. They were, here in town for, the wellness check. And, I got to see him in their arms, on the other side of the glass, because little babies do not have a functioning immune system. I am not going to touch that baby until we're past this, and I've got my vaccine in me.
A lot of people my cousin has 2 new grandchildren, one that's a year old, and we were not able to go to his 1-year birthday party March 21st because of this. And so, there's a lot of loss that we are incurring. But this is nobody's fault. It's all the blame. It's nobody's fault. This is something that's happened. It's happened in history before. It caught us a little bit blindsided, but we are a resilient, amazing, creative people, strong people, and we are going to get through this.
Yes.
And I'm just going to, when I get those fear and doubts, like I've had new clients every week, right? Not big things, not the same amount as before. This week has been, a little bit slower than the other weeks, but I had a chance to catch up on a bunch of stuff that I hadn't been able to do. So I'm not going to sit around all weekend worrying about that. I'm going to just look at the great time that I got ahead and get ready for a great week next week. So I'm going to just have some visualizations of all of the wonderful clients that I'm going to be able to serve, all the people that are going to get their wills done, that are going to take me up on my offers to do them very, very cost effectively. And, just take advantage of these things, get more training, just whatever your business is, there's so many opportunities for growth that we just can't afford. Indulge yourself in the pity party for 5 or 10 minutes and then just go, okay, check, have my pity party today, and then focus into the fun things. You can't deny yourself a pity party because we're all going to do that, okay?
Feel your feelings.
We're going to walk by the mirror and say, oh, where's my roots? That root touch-up doesn't really work. I actually colored my hair myself for the first time, and I've never done that before. It was not on my radar. I actually trim my own bangs. You just have to keep the scissors straight up. But we're just adapting. I've always had these. There's a little bruise from where my finger got caught in the window. But I'm still the same person I was with or without my beautiful nails. I'll do it again, but I'm kind of enjoying the natural nails now. So just, everything that we're going through, there's a way out. And I think this might be a wake-up call. I know it's been a wake-up call for me, all the things that I wasn't quite aware of. So we can use this. I want to make this time productive for my life. And I'm just hoping that your listeners and your viewers and our audience will find a way to make it a treasure and a value for them, because there's hidden gold in those dark places.
Amen. There is always hidden gold in any problem.
There is. I know there is. So.
Indeed. Well, I love it. Well, this has been fabulous, Melanie. How can our listeners and viewers learn more about you and your work?
Okay. All you have to do is Google Melanie Bragg, and then you can pick whatever direction you want to go in. You can go in the law direction with BraggLawPC.com, or you can go in the author direction with MelanieBragg.com. And I'm just blessed that I get to do all kinds of fun things, and it's just a joy. I get to live my joy almost each and every day. When I'm not in the pity party, when I'm not feeling sorry for myself, when I'm not thinking about the past or the future, but I get to watch my shows on Netflix too, so that's a lot of fun.
And that is a lot of fun. That is a lot of fun. Well, Melanie, this has been great. You all check her out at Bragg Law. Is that right? Bragg
Bragg
Law
Law PC for Bragg Law.
PC. Mm-hmm. And Melanie Bragg for the books and novels and all of her brilliant writing.
My fiction book it's on Amazon. You can read this really, really quick. And I've had several people that are sad that they read it so fast because it's over. And I'm trying to get one, let me just say, name it and claim it. I'm hoping to get the sequel, which is called All One Blood. I think that kind of applies to us these days. I'm trying to get that done during this time. But first I had to get through the first couple of weeks of freaking out, and then I had to get caught up on this and that. But yeah, so it's time to get that done and use this time wisely. Yeah, every moment of every day is precious to all of us. So
it is, and treat it as such. And when you're freaking out, remember the now formula, and that
nurture yourself and others, own it, and win.
And win. Yes.
Winning.
Very good. I'm winning here too. So you all, I am just delighted to check in with Melanie, and I hope this has served you well, and we will see you on the next episode of the Successible She Podcast. Bye for now. Hold on, before you go anywhere, I want to make sure you know how much I appreciate your listening ear on the Successible She Podcast. And as such, I want you to know that I don't only want to make a difference here to you on the podcast weekly, but actually I want to be in there with you in your business, in your life, every single day, helping you overcome the things that other people can shock you with, so you can avoid shocked response syndrome and transform from stewing, shouting, shrinking, or shunning those people who don't respect or appreciate you, those situations that get in your way and even stop you, so that instead you'll be standing up for yourself with confidence, respect, and fun, and drive the results you want and honestly that you deserve. So I want to invite you to our free Successible She community of practice for you, the woman who knows there's more for you in your business, in your personal life, and in your social life. It's an invite-only free online community of high-level women achievers, and this is where you can get ongoing trainings and interactions with me, where you can learn and grow with like-minded influencers and thought leaders, share best practices, and of course, get monthly micro trainings and book recommendations from me and my team. So our members range from women who own and lead businesses, professional women, to women who lead in your community, family, and movements. We would so benefit from having you, and we know you will get so much value out of this group as well, especially if you really appreciate what I bring you on the show. So if you do, head on over to dorothykuhn.com/community. That's where you'll have the opportunity to join the Successible She community of practice. We host it on Facebook, so go to dorothykuhn.com/community, answer a couple of questions, and then request the invite. We'll check you out and can't wait for you to join us inside our group. Thank you for listening. Success will be yours.